So when you think about the Lake District, you usually imagine this very romantic atmosphere in the sense of the romantic poets, my Gothic teenage idols. So you expect that moody, melancholic landscape that inspired that poetic bloom. But that's not really what I found. Instead, I found a lot of aggressive sunshine, harsh shadows, and about a million other tourists, most of whom were actually dogs. But I'm not complaining about that. From Manchester, we caught a train to Penrith. I've always believed that the best places on earth are the ones where sheep easily outnumber humans, so my expectations were quite high. Then we hopped on the local bus to Keswick. If you've never experienced Lake District tourist buses, let's just say they make roller coasters look like a gentle spa treatment. We made it to Keswick, our base for the next few nights. It's a charming, quiet little town. It has that classic Northern England character and a ridiculously high concentration of dogs per square meter. I warmed up with some digital shots while I was getting used to the local characters. Then we jumped on a bus to start exploring the region, completely at random. Our planning was so non-existent that we managed to hit our first improvised hike at the worst possible time for photography. The light was harsh, and the sheep were just standing there judging our poor life choices from a small distance. We eventually made it up to Harkister Pass, home to an old slate mine and some of the most dramatic terrain in the area. I managed to get a few shots that weren't a total disaster, but I don't know. The potential for something epic was there, but the light was working against me the whole time. Back on the bus, catching glimpses of the lakes through the window finally gave me some hope. We got off at Buttermere, which is supposed to be one of the crown jewels of the Lake District. But, true to our chaos first planning, we just stopped at the first bit of shoreline we found, and that was that. We looked around, I took a few shots, but we were a bit underwhelmed. It felt like, I don't know, just a lake. So we left pretty quickly and then we hopped on yet another bus and ended up in Cockermouth. I knew it was the birthplace of William Wordsworth, so I expected a bit of that highbrow romantic poet energy. Surprisingly, though, we found a quiet, unpretentious village that turned out to be one of our favorite spots. It felt much more authentic than the crowded tourist hubs. While wandering around, we stumbled upon this pub called the Bitter End, only to realize it was sitting right across the street from an old churchyard. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The British sense of humor is unmatched. I spent ages circling the place, trying to shoot this dark joke from every conceivable angle with questionable results. To be fair, I have a weakness for Gothic churches and old graveyards, so I always end up wasting half an hour shooting completely at random, desperately chasing a decent composition that usually isn't there. In the end, only a handful of these shots actually came out well, but it was worth it. Time to change the roll. I loaded some Cinestill 800T to feed my favorite combo with the Fuji GS645S. I needed a few more frames before my brothers and my boyfriend literally had to drag me away by force. Back to Keswick to take a stroll along its lake. This lake was a massive source of inspiration for the lake poets, and apparently there's a specific bench with the ultimate view. But honestly, I think our second choice benches were even better. I love these shots on the Cinestill. That red halation makes the scene look dreamy AF. The next day, we kept exploring places near Keswick. I took a few unworthy shots. And then we got to Grasmere, which is famous for a lot of things, but mostly for being Wordsworth's ultimate sanctuary. And we also got a glimpse of the churchyard where the poet is buried. of this roll, these are my favorite shots. Back to Keswick again, we got to see a cool stone circle. This guy was surely enjoying its cosmic energy and stuff. Out of this Cinestill roll, these were my best shots.